this panel is not a judicial panel of inquiry, and so you have people who ask that, aren't we mixing things up here? It's just merely advisory. And so if we were to stick to that advisory capabilities or functions of this committee, they can either take that advice or not. That's the government now.
That's correct. If you look at the terms of reference of the committee, though, it's a bit more than advisory. It was tasked with establishing if any revenues are due to the government that have not been collected, and to try to collect the revenues. So it is a bit more than an advisory committee. But yes, every committee of government submits a report to the government, and the government sets up a white paper committee to look at the report and accept the recommendations or not, or reject some of the recommendations. That happens always. But the Ribadu committee, the Ribadu task force, was also given specific mandate to establish any revenues due and even try to get the revenues collected. It's there in the terms of reference. So I'm not too sure that it's purely advisory. And I think this is how the issue of ADAX came in and all that, and they mentioned all these figures, the revenues due to the government that have not been paid. So yes, the government can choose not to accept some of the recommendations, but this report is out in the public domain. It's no longer in the hands of the government. Each one of us has a say, because these revenues belong to all of us. And the state governments have a share, the federal government has a share, local governments have a share, every Nigerian has a stake, and it's up to us to look at this report and say we should not be losing this money, and it should be paid to the government, and we should all get the benefit of it. So this is the beauty of what is going on here. We are at an age where reports can no longer be buried.
Let me quickly ask this, because, I mean, you've been in government and you know that government is privy to a lot of information that the people ordinarily don't have. And so if they choose for some reason to hold on a bit about the report and not implement it as it were, hook, line and sinker, maybe before they even come up with another committee to come up with a white paper eventually, if that does happen, shouldn't we give the government the benefit of the doubt in that case?
Yes and no. You see, the report is out. The government must explain to Nigerians why they would not implement the report. It's out. It's no longer, governance is no longer a black box. You can't receive a report secretly and do white paper committee secretly as it used to happen 10 years ago. Now everything is out. So accountability has been escalated by the existence of technologies and the Freedom of Information Act. That's one. Secondly, yes, the government can say, I can't implement this, but they should give reasons. They should give reasons. They shouldn't just, refuse to do it. Okay? Thirdly, and most importantly, if the government knew what we did not know, or what the Ribadu committee did not know, why did they set up the committee in the first place? They set up the committee because they needed to bring in expertise from various parts of the industry as well as out to look at these issues and make recommendations. So they should not be flippant in throwing away the recommendations and say we are government, we know more. Not anymore. We also have many people out there that know a lot.
Okay, taking you back a little bit here, you mentioned something earlier about the terms of reference. And amongst the terms of reference, there's the last part says to submit monthly report. I mean, this committee, one would have expected that would have had several reports, seeing that they had about 3 months or thereabout to work, or over 3 months to work. We would have been seeing other reports before this final report, as the gentleman that was here said earlier. So is this not a basis for the government to say, okay, you did not exactly stick by the terms we laid out to you. We wanted monthly reports for further action. That's number 6 on the terms of reference. Shouldn't that be a ground for the government to rethink?
No, it will be an excuse for the government if they want to. But if I set up a committee, I was minister many years ago. If I set up a committee, a ministerial committee, and in the terms of reference, I said, give me a report every month. At the end of the first month, if the report doesn't come, I'll write the committee chair and secretary and say, what's going on? Where is the monthly report? Now, if I don't do that, I lose the right to complain after the fact. My view is this. The committee has been set up. It was supposed to submit monthly reports. Maybe it did not. I don't know. But if it did not, and the government did not complain through the minister or the president or whoever is the appointing authority, then it loses the right to complain after the fact. So this report should be taken and be used. This committee had a lifetime of 45 days or 60 days. It took 8 months. The government didn't complain. It cannot complain now and start looking at little omissions here and there as a basis to say we reject the report. We will not accept that as Nigerians. That is not correct. That is not moral.
All right, let me bring this in. Dr. Doyin just says now that, quote, I did not say that the report be thrown out. I said the report is incomplete. He just tweets this one in now. So just as Madam Nasir El-Rufai, he said, I did not say it should be thrown out. It's incomplete. That's different from saying being thrown out.
I am, well, maybe it's in the character of Dr. Doyin to just rouse and just talk. Because this for me is just talk. For him to say he did not say it should be thrown out, he's only saying it's incomplete. First, I don't think he was in office when this the committee was a panel. And
but it was there when it was being submitted.
But if the government is going to come out with a position, it is not true statement like Dr. Doyin. Like Madam said, set up a committee, come up with your white paper.
Yeah, but this is government's position. If he says...
Come up with a white paper, not incomplete. And if I might go further, I think you mentioned the issue of monthly report. In election matters, we even hear the court say, was there substantial compliance? If you give 8 terms of reference, you are expected to give monthly reports, and for one reason or the other, the government has not said they did not give those reports. The committee has not said they did not give monthly reports. But let's assume, though I'm not conceding, that it was not done. That is not enough reason. And for Dr. Doyin to now be saying that he did not say the committee reports should be thrown out. All he said is, it is incomplete. What does that say? For crying out loud.
That's to
This is a
to
presidential
clarify an
spokesman.
issue.
In what capacity is he speaking? Is it the position of the government or his personal opinion on the report?
That's
If
Dr.
it is-
Okukwe?
Yes. If it is the position of the government, you are saying it's incomplete, you are simply telling us clearly, straightforward, that this report is incomplete, and as such, we are going to dump it. However, let's even assume that it is incomplete. The part that was completed, make use of that.
How does that work? If the committee is coming up to say so many things about the report, it's finally submitted, saying that, well, the government should go ahead because they just couldn't go the whole hog in getting some other data or information.
Which
then
they
why-
were honest enough to admit.
So that honesty has actually put a dent on that particular report, isn't it?
It does not. If you give me an assignment, it's okay, help me check out, for instance, help me do a due diligence on channels. And I come into channels, I do my work, I pick up for the files. If there are files that you do not make available to me, I will simply include in my report that I could not get A, B, and C details.
That's why Dr. Okukwe says it's incomplete.
And what, no, if, it's not the government and its agencies that are supposed to make this available. That is what Steve Warrensai was saying, or was trying to imply.
But
if the agencies of government did not make this available, and the committee was sincere enough to say, we did not have access. It's not, the committee did not say, we did not want to do. It did not say, we did not go there. It said, we did not, and we recommend that you do a further follow-up on this aspect of it. What is incomplete?